Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Zoom today. We are talking about receiving. In particular, what are you refusing to receive that if you were to receive it, everything would change? How does it get any better than this? Yay! Awesome, awesome. So I have a few questions that were sent by participants that couldn't join us here live, and I invite you to ask as many questions as you like, because your questions are going to be directing the energy and the flow of our call today. So to begin, how about you can close your eyes if you are available, if you're able to right now. Gently close your eyes and let's take a deep breath in together. I don't know about you, but for me, I had a morning where I was aware of so many things and my world started getting a little crunchy and a little tight. And so a space like this is a great invitation to remind me to just breathe and to allow and ask our infinite beings to expand in all directions all at once, in front and behind you, to the left and to the right, above and below you. And when you exhale your breath, ask all your walls and barriers to go down, down, down. All walls and barriers in this lifetime and other lifetimes, in this reality and other realities, in this dimension and other dimensions, in this universe and other universes, and anywhere else that I might have forgotten to say. Bring them all down. Energetically push them down, please. So what would it take for us to expand even more, to be that space of possibilities, to be able to move beyond any old limitations or constructs, and to just access not even something new, something that is new and is already available here and now for us to choose. So everywhere where we've been going to the old programs, to the old constructs, to the old blah, 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 would you be willing to destroy and uncreate all that right now? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And what if instead you could literally just leap into the new choice that's available here for you? How many choices are available for you here now that were not available before? How many choices are available for you now that are not available for others to choose? How many possibilities are available for you now that others don't have? Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it now? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Lowering our walls and barriers more and more and more, expanding out even more. And what would it take for us to choose to be vulnerable during this call? What would it take for us to have way more allowance than awareness? And what energy, space, consciousness, and choice can we and our bodies be to be the aggressive presence we truly be with all of this? Anything that doesn't allow this, will you destroy and uncreate it now, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And what energy, space, consciousness, and choice can we and our bodies be to have total ease and total clarity with all of this? Anything that doesn't allow us to show up as if by magic, will you destroy and uncreate it now, please? Right or wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And you can slowly open up your eyes if you like, and you don't have to. And allow you to be fully present right here and now. And still stay completely expanded and expansive. So who has a question?
Hi, I'd like to say hi, everyone. I didn't say anything.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you.
Do you have a question for us, Alessandra, right now?
I'm just thinking about it.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Awesome. So what comes up for you when we talk about receiving? And it's for you and everyone else on this call, and of course everyone else that's listening in the future. What comes up for you when we talk about receiving? For me, I used to think that I was like really good at receiving. And then I started playing a little bit with the concepts, and I began to get the awareness that I was really good at receiving. I'm still really good at receiving. And I also tend to limit how much I receive and when. So what if us, all of us, can access that potency that we be, that is the infinite being that we be, and as an infinite being, we have infinite receiving. So what if we didn't have to label and define what we're receiving? What if we didn't have to label, define, or limit who we're receiving from? I also notice something that's been coming up for me in the past few days is like the minute I become aware, let's say I'm like working with someone in particular. Let's see, it shows up in so many different ways for me. Let's see, what's a good example? So let's say I was promoting someone else's like classes and programs that they were doing. And then I became aware in the process of something about their energy that I didn't love. And immediately I went into judgment of that energy that they were doing. You know, so it's like, it's okay, like if you're aware of something that feels a little constricting or limiting for you from other people. And the minute we go into like rightness or wrongness of it, or we have like that, it's like the clause of judgment into it, what I noticed that started happening for me is that I would put up my walls and barriers and I would stop receiving from them. So what if we could be aware of all beings, all things, all molecules, all energies, and we can receive from everything and everyone and still be aware? And it's like we still have choice as to whether or not we like to work from that, with them, or with them or for them. And what if we didn't have to stop receiving? So how many of us, how many of you might also be aware of all those spaces and places where you bring out the jaws, not the jaws, what am I saying? Like the claws, I guess the jaws and the claws of judgment. And the minute we go into that rightness and wrongness of the thing, of maybe what they said or how they said it, how they didn't say it, what they're being, what they're not being, and then all of a sudden it's like, ooh, I gotta put up my walls and barriers because I can't receive from that because they are that. So anything that this is bringing up for you, would you be willing to destroy it and create it now? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. So what if we were not required to put up those walls and barriers? What would happen then?
We were um, we would be limitless, maybe, without limits.
Yes. 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 So what would it take to, so I was going to say to like not put up the walls and barriers, and the awareness that I'm getting is it's kind of like this like track or habit or thing that we might have created that's so easy for us to go to that, you know, because maybe we learn it when we were children, maybe we learn it because, you know, something happened with one of our parents, you know, like I know in my childhood, I love my parents and my parents have been pretty awesome, and at the same time there were times when, you know, my parents had this like almost like switching of moods really quickly, you know, so you kind of like didn't know who you were getting and when. So that's that was like one of my defense mechanisms. And as Gary just talked about in the Creating with the Earth call over the weekend, it was also a coping mechanism. So anytime we're going to, so first it's like, so what coping mechanisms are we using to refuse the possibilities, to refuse to receive the possibilities that we're not choosing? So everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy it and create it now? Well, right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So one of the things that he suggested in the call is like, okay, let's become aware of all the coping mechanisms that we are using. So when we become aware of them, we have a choice. It's like, do you still want to go to that coping mechanism, or would you like to choose something different that will truly allow you to access that space of possibilities that can create something different? Otherwise, we keep on going the same road. You know, it's like, you know, before quarantine, if you were like driving to work every morning, or you were going to wherever you were going every morning, it's so easy to go into like automatic pilot, where we just like, okay, this is the way I go, this is the way I go. You don't even have to think. You can have 1,000 other things in your mind, and you keep on going that way, you keep on going that way, you keep on going that way. Okay, what if you could stop right now? What if you could become aware of what are the coping mechanisms that you are using to not be the infinite being, the infinite awareness, the infinite receiving that you truly be, and to kind of like limit what is it that you're receiving for you, for your business, for your money flows, for your relationships and your life.
Can you say a little more about the coping mechanisms? Because I'm not sure that I get what it is. Like, no.
Sure, sure.
Yes, what is the meaning of coping mechanism?
So like a coping mechanism is it's almost like a strategy that we created most of the time, not consciously, to like deal with something that was showing up in our life. So we have like coping mechanisms to deal with our parents, and we have coping mechanisms to deal with our significant others, and we have coping mechanisms to deal with judgment, and we have coping, you know, so it's like this very like solid place that we go to that we're not even aware that's even a coping mechanism. And I'm going to go to, if you have the resources to get this telecall, it's part of the Creating with the Earth series. It was literally off the charts. It just happened on Saturday, and it was Gary and Dane and Shannon in it. I did take
No,
a few.
I listened it. I didn't catch it, but I listened to the replay. But I didn't notice that coping mechanism. What Gary said.
You
Isn't that
didn't know?
funny?
Oh, you didn't. That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that they were talking about, we're not going to go into that too much here, but the question that they were asking is, what am I using to make things relevant in my life? And they were saying that everything you're using to make things relevant is a coping mechanism. So you can ask that question. So what am I using to make things relevant in my life? And then you might get the awareness of something that comes up that could be your coping mechanism. And then you can ask the 4 questions that we do in Access. What is it? What can I do with it? Can I change it? How do I change it? And then I'm going to give you guys this awesome process that they gave too, because I get that it's going to create more for us. And it's like, it's a mind, it's going to mess up with your mind, just so you know. Okay. So get out of your mind and just expand, lower your walls and barriers down. It's like this. What gels are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC square to prove that your coping mechanisms are what makes your life relevant, true, and real, and make you greater than other people and right when nobody else can be right, and wrong never, amen, are you choosing. Dane also gave this clearing process in the moving, finally going beyond right and wrong call that he did on Saturday too. I listen to it over and over. I read it and I still have no idea what the hell this is. I do know that it's creating more space in my being and in my awareness.
Me
So
too. I was re-listening to the call, and when he said it, first of all, I didn't hear it the first time. And then I was re-listening to it, and I was, what? And then I got back a little bit. I was like, what?
yes, it's like this is obviously awesome, something great to put in a loop, to just let it do whatever it does and move beyond the trying to think it, trying to understand it, trying to comprehend it, you know. And speaking of that, how many times do we go to the thinking, the comprehending, the trying to understanding as a way to limit our receiving? What awareness do you have? What do you know?
What comes up for me, something like, wow, so I have to get it so I can receive from it. Like,
Yes, yes, yes. So everything that is, and I'm sure it's only for you, Juliana. Nobody else does that, including me. So everything that is, will you destroy it and create it now?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. Like personally, I notice myself doing that so much. It's like, and every time I'm aware of it, it's like, I did that again, you know. But what would it take to not go into the judgment and go into the allowance of it? So one of the things that I notice myself doing, maybe some of you might too, is like the slowing it down, the, like Juliana said, the solidifying, the trying to get it and understand that when, you know, as an infinite being, we are infinite awareness and infinite knowing. And as Dane often says, you know, it's like when someone is asking a question or when someone is sharing something, like after like the first or second word, you already receive the energy of what that is. So everywhere we are trying to solidify it, everywhere we're trying to slow it down, everywhere we are doing all those coping mechanisms, so we limit our receiving and our being as the infinite beings we truly be. Would you like to destroy and uncreate all of that right now? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. Whoa. Yeah, and up until now, like I'd never even realized that's also a coping mechanism. Yeah. So how many coping mechanisms do we have that are limiting what we receive? with total ease, joy, and glory. Everything that is times a gazillion, will you destroy it and create it now, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Let's do that. Clearing again. What gels are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared to prove that your coping mechanisms are what makes your life relevant, true, and real, and make you greater than other people and right when nobody else can be right, and wrong, never a man are you choosing? Everything that is times a gazillion, will you destroy it and create it now? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. I couldn't even imagine like being a translator for that, any one of those two classes, and having to translate live this clearing process. Can't even imagine
Or
that.
to send them maybe. I don't know. But
Yeah, maybe they do. You're right. Maybe they do send them. Maybe they do send them in advance. Like I can't even read it in English. Actually, it's funny. One of Maya, one of the translators, she was also on the call, and people that were English speaking were asking to receive translation because they didn't understand anything. Oh, how does it get any better than this? So, what else is possible for us with receiving as the infinite beings we truly be, that we don't think is possible? That if we allow the possibilities, it would actualize a reality beyond this reality with total ease. Wow. Right or wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So what gets in the way of your receiving? What gets in the way of you receiving?
Veronica, I have a question. Me as an infinite being, I have infinite receiving, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And my body is amazing. Is even more molecular receiving I have with my body. And what limits me not to have that all the receiving? What is it? What shit? Because I know my capacities. Not only me, everybody has their own, but I know my capacities. This body of mine, and also the infinite being. It's limitless. And then, what shit limits me then? What is going on?
So one question for you that's coming up, and for anyone else, do you have to be consciously aware of what you're receiving and who you're receiving it from in order to receive it?
No.
Yes. So anywhere you or anyone else have made that a coping mechanism as a way to, okay, only if I know what I'm receiving and who I'm receiving it from, I can receive it, would you be willing to destroy and create it now?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Yeah. So Burcu, for you and anyone else that's listening, is there an area in your life where you're in the flow of receiving? You are that, where you just said like the molecules and you're infinitely receiving. Is there an area that comes, like you can be present with and bring up right now?
Oh, yes. When I'm facilitating classes for Access Consciousness,
Okay.
this is something I receive a lot.
Okay.
Even more in every other area of my life.
Okay.
Recently, until now.
Okay. So what energy, space, consciousness, and choice are you being when you're being that?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to have like an actual answer with words, just an awareness of what that is. Okay. And now let's look at another area that might seem a little more limiting, that you're not receiving as much as everything that's available for you to receive. What is that?
I don't like dealing with people. So when I'm dealing with people, I'm limiting myself. I know that.
You what?
I know I'm limiting my receiving because I don't like dealing with people. I really don't like dealing with people. Really. That's
okay.
true.
Okay. So going back to what I said a little while ago, can you only receive from the things and the people that you like?
Ned.
Yeah. So everywhere you made that a coping mechanism that you can only receive from the things and the people that you like, would you be willing to destroy and create that now?
Yes, please.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
I think I saw that moment in a dream maybe 5 years ago. This is just a deja vu.
Wow.
Something like that. Yes. Yeah. Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah. And also, any implants or explants that you or anyone else here might have, where at some point in some place you were implanted with, you can only receive what we tell you that you can receive from, or who we tell you that you can receive from, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate that now and return to Sunday with consciousness?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So let's do a couple of these. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 5, 9, 11, 5, 9, 11, 5, 9, 11, 14, 19, 20, 14, 19, 20, 14, 19, 20. How is that? Same, lighter, or heavier?
Better. Very, very light.
Awesome. Yay. How does it get any better than this?
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Other questions? Who else has a question that would like to share? Okay, we have a couple of questions that were sent, people that couldn't be here. Okay, so Thomas had a question, and it was more of like an energetic question. I guess if we had to put it into words, it's something along the lines of like what energy, space, consciousness, and choice can we and our bodies be to be the energy of invitation. So like you almost like don't have to do anything. You literally can just be that energy, and when you talk, when you walk, when you actually take an action, you are that invitation for whatever it is. And of course he's not here live, so I don't know exactly more about it because it feels really light right now. So what's coming right now when I tap into the awareness of that is a couple of things. So one is like, what would it take for him and each and every one of us to receive all of us? So there's a lot of times when it's like we have these expectations that can be conscious or unconscious about how we desire other people to receive us, or the invitations that we have for them, or the invitations that we be. And we're not like totally willing to receive all of us. So what gets in the way of receiving all that we be. Does anyone have any awareness on this?
Yeah, for me, it happens a lot. Like I'm really excited about something and I want to invite people, but something inside my head goes to, no, they won't come. They won't see what you're seeing there. Like already, when I start, I already have this underlying thing that it's saying, no, it won't happen.
Yeah. And again, you're the only one that has this, just so you know, okay? So how old are you being?
5.
What happened at 5?
I don't know. That's like a thing in my stomach. But
Mm-hmm. So what is it?
oof. Oh, look, it's like something that says to me that I can't be. Like,
Yeah. So what, first of all, are you willing to become totally present with it, even if it's uncomfortable?
yeah.
Okay. So let's become totally present with that. Who or what were you being at 5? And it's not like it wasn't received. It was like it was received and it was like taken like the wrong way and judged. Is that light for you?
Yeah. Lighter than before. Like the
Okay.
thing is still
Okay.
here.
Okay.
But it's
So you know, so here you're a 5-year-old. You're this like, you know, like juicy, sparkly. You have all the sexualness that's moving through all the molecules of your body, and like you don't know what barriers are. You don't know what walls are. You're just being that. It's like the energy you be. Like you don't even know that there's another possibility. It's just who you be. Okay. So what happens when you're around certain people being that? The people that could be relatives, you know, maybe opposite sex, like a dad or an uncle or grandfather, okay? Their bodies, when they're in the presence of that, they get turned on. They get into like, and it's not allowed for them to get turned on. It's because when when their bodies get turned on, meaning like they're alive and they become the energy that you're being, the only other reference point that they have for that is like sex. Oh, I want to have sex with her. And how wrong is that in this reality, right? So you're not going to have sex with your 5-year-old daughter, or your 5-year-old niece, or your 5-year-old granddaughter. So that's bad and it's wrong. So it's like the energy was received and then it's judged. And then it's like, no, I can't receive that. And so she can't be that. So truth, how aware were you of this at that time? Yeah. Yeah. So everywhere you, first of all, you cut off your awareness because you didn't want to know any of this anymore. You made yourself wrong because they were making you wrong. You stop that sexualness, you stop that aliveness, you stop that, you know, dancing of the molecules because it was received, but it wasn't received, and it's not right to be this, and it's bad, and I want to have sex with you, and everything that is times a godzillion. Would you like to destroy and uncreate it now? Return to sender with consciousness?
yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. What else is coming up for you?
Yeah, I got something about my uncle, and he was cut off of being him since maybe since he was born, I don't know. I have this background stories about him, but somewhere I get that it happened to him so much that besides this thing of getting turned on and he didn't know what to do with it, it has something with his child as well. Like this gets in the mix, like he was so cut off of being him, really. And I don't know, it comes like
yeah. So anywhere where you mimicked that behavior, like in order to like show how much you care for him, or maybe because it was the only reference point that then you had, or anything that is everything that says times ago to me, we destroy and create it now, return to sender with consciousness.
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Is there a little bit more there, or is it all clear?
It's a little bit more. I wanted it all to be clear, but when I ask, I get a no.
Yes. All right. So what is it? What is that? What are you aware of? What do you know?
What comes up is something like I can free him now of all the blame. I don't know. It's he's the one in the family that is blamed all the time for everything. And I think I don't know. That's something about letting it go, because I got a lot of it inside me as well.
Yeah. So everywhere, a couple of things. So any Shiku implants or explants that are holding this in place, any distractor implants holding it in place, and anywhere where you've lacked in the solidity of this inside your body, would you be willing to destroy and create it now?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So when or like who made you like the savior of your uncle? Like you had to like have the responsibility of like saving him, or whatever that is.
Well, what comes is more of you have to hate him. Like it's not an option for you to like him.
Okay, so say you have to hate him, you have to hate him, you have to hate him.
You have to hate him, you have to hate him, you have to hate him.
Okay, so all the Shiku implants holding this in place, would you destroy and create them now?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And everywhere where like you have to hate him was equal to you have to hate me, like you have to hate you.
Yeah.
Will you destroy and create that and return to sender with consciousness?
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Because here's the thing, like you had the awareness that you were like him. So you were like the humanoids in your family, and you had this like sexualness and this molecules and this magic and this being that is who you were. So like when the grown-ups around you are like sending you the implants and the message like you have to hate him, you have to hate him, then it's like you also have to hate you because you're just like him. So everywhere you've taken like all like this judgment and all the distractor implants that were like sort of like given towards him or against him, towards you or against you, which we want to destroy and create them now and return to sandalwood consciousness.
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And then everywhere, I think most of it is clear, but everywhere where it's like you judge them, you judge him, or you judge you for any or all of this, which we want to destroy it and create it and return to sandalwood consciousness.
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. How's that now?
Wow. A lot more space and movement inside my body. It's like, ooh.
Yes.
Things are rearranging.
Yes. Awesome. How does it get any better than that? So when you tap into the energy of sharing something, whatever it is, an invitation to come and play with me, or come to this class I'm translating, or come and do this, or whatever that is, what comes up for you now? Is it
More
the same?
fun.
Yeah, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yay! How does it
Thank
get
you.
better than this? You're welcome. You're welcome. This also has answered the question that Tanya had. Her question was around allowing others to receive you. So again, Tanya, kind of like what we talked about, it's like, what would it take for you to receive all of you? And also, what would it take? How about if all of us destroy and create all the pest juniors and DJCCs? So pest juniors are the projections, expectations, rejections, separations, judgments, secrets. And then DJCCs are decisions, judgments, computations, and conclusions that we have about how others are supposed to receive us. So always, always, always go into I destroy and create all of pest juniors and DJCCs, which if we want to do that now, right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And another question for you, Tanya, and anyone else here that might be useful for is to like ask, so before you like share you or something about you or something that you're inviting people to, it's like, what do they desire and require to hear? And what do they desire and require to receive? And so that you give them exactly what they desire and require to hear or to receive. And here's one thing, and this came up for me like majorly when I was taking the Symphony of Possibility class with Dane here last September. So I actually I went up to ask like my first question ever in Access Consciousness, and he made me go up to the stage, and I was like, oh, what is this? And it wasn't the stage, like he wasn't like working on me, like he called another person that was laying on the table, and he had me do the SOP session on her while he was there like helping us. So I had to let go of a lot of shit in those like 10 seconds. I made all kinds of choices about letting go of all the crap, fully committing to me and my life, and also like receiving all the energies that were available for me to receive at that time. So what would it take for you to receive all the energies that are available for you to receive right now, even if you don't understand them, even if you don't know what they are, even if you can't like comprehend them with your mind right now? Anything that doesn't allow us to show up as if by magic, will you destroy it and create it now? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. So going back to the example I was just sharing, I don't even exactly remember how I phrased the question. And the essence of it was like, we are infinite beings, and we have all of this that we most of the time would like to like share. It's like, oh my God, I have all this, I have this podcast, I have all this, I want this, I want that. Okay. And the person that's on the other side, whether it's there next to you or through virtually the computer, on the phone or whatever, maybe all they can receive is this much. Okay, this little much, that's all they're asking for. But you, being an infinite being and you have infinite awareness, you got all of this and you're like, oh my God, but I want to give you this and I want to give you this and I want to do that and I want to do that. They can only receive this. So if you're going to give them all of this, what do you think is going to happen?
They'll freak out.
Yes, they'll freak out. They'll put
Run
up,
away.
Going to be hurt, maybe.
yes, they're going to put up all their walls and barriers and they're going to reject all of that because that's not where they're at. And a lot of times we think that caring for someone is kind of like knowing, like if we know all of this and we know what all of this might create for them, and they might have no freaking awareness of what they're choosing or what that's creating for them, we think caring, it's like, let me give you all of this because it's going to make you so great. It's going to make you all this money. It's going to, and they're like, can you go away? Can you go away? Can you go away? Can you go away? And how many times have you made yourself wrong for all the times you wanted to give all of this and you gave all of this and they were like, fuck off. I don't want to see you. Go away. I don't want to receive from you. Okay? So everywhere you've made yourself wrong for that, you're still not wrong. Please, you are not wrong for that. Can you destroy it and create it now and return to sender with consciousness? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And so everywhere you've cut your receiving and you've cut that infinite being that you truly be and that infinite awareness and that infinite knowing and that infinite being and that infinite choosing because they weren't willing to receive all of it, will you destroy it and create it now, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And here's what completely changed my life that Dane here shared with me during that SOP. It was this. If you're aware that what they require to receive from you is this tiny little like 2 inches of whatever it is that they're asking for, and you have all of this to give them, you only give them those 2 little inches that they're asking for. But this is what was tripping me up before then. It was, I was cutting myself off, my energy, my being, my receiving, my knowing, and all of that to also be only those 2 inches. So you can still be all of this and only give them the 2 little inches that they're asking for. I don't know why, but this just became a very sexual conversation in my mind. So everything that's coming up for you times a gazillion, will you destroy it and create it now? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So the question at that time was about like modulating your energy. So you can modulate the energy, you can modulate what you gift them, what you give them. So ask the question, what are they willing or what do they desire to receive from me? What are they required to receive right now? And then give them that, but in the process, don't cut everything that you are off just because they're not willing to receive it. So are you willing to be all that you truly be in this infiniteness, in this magic, in this miracles, in this sexualness, and everything else times a gazillion? Anything that doesn't allow you to be, know, receive, perceive, and choose this with total ease, joy, and glory. Will you destroy it and create it now, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Whoa, 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 whoa. Awesome, awesome. And to go a little more into Tanya's question, anywhere you're not allowing others to receive what they're willing to receive from you, okay? Will you destroy it and create it and return to sender with consciousness? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds, and any Shiku implants that are holding that in place, or any distractor implants, will you destroy it and create them and return to sender with consciousness? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And also anywhere we're making receiving linear, like I can only receive those 2 little inches, why not all of this? Will you destroy and uncreate it now? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And this is also where, of course, this could be a call all on its own, but this is where the conversation of contribution comes in. So in Access Consciousness, we talk about contribution being the simultaneity of gifting and receiving. So it's not like I'm going to give you this, and then you're going to receive this, and then you're going to give me the exact same thing. No. Everywhere you're making that linear and you're making it like this reality, will you destroy and uncreate it now? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So what would it take? What energy, space, consciousness, choice, magic, miracles, mysteries, and possibilities can you and your body be to be the infinite simultaneity of gifting and receiving with total ease? Anything that doesn't allow us to show up as if by magic, will you destroy and uncreate it now, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And another thing that's showing up is when you're asking, like, what a particular person is willing or ready to receive from you, you can also play a little bit with the energy flows that we learn in the foundation class. So if you've taken foundation, you know what they are. So according to what they're willing and able to receive from you, you know, it doesn't only have to be like a verbal thing, right? You can actually, it's like, I like to use energies and energy flows to like pre-pave the way. So let's say you're about to have a meeting with your coworkers or with your clients. Okay, before you even, okay, now I know we're also in quarantine, so a lot of people are not going to the in-person, you're going to the meetings on Zoom. So before you actually get to the meeting on Zoom, and whenever quarantine is done, you get to meetings in person, you can actually energetically tap into the energy of the people that you're meeting with, and you can ask questions. One question is, okay, what do they desire and what do they require to receive from me? What are they required to hear? And then you can, you know, do the flows of energy, whatever's showing up, which I'm not going to go into it right now because we don't have enough time. So you kind of like pre-pave the way energetically with the energy. Then you show up to your meeting, you keep on asking questions, you be the full presence, and the miraculous being you truly be. What other questions do we have, or comments or awareness?
You know, the topic seems like very common and something very simple, but it's at the end I found out that it's very rare, and this is something. What's happening to me is something. I cannot even explain it, but it's a huge amount of change, I think. Thank you so much. Something is changing like this at the moment for me. Yes, this is what I live it like this. Thank you.
Mm.
You all for the awareness.
Thank you.
Receiving is something. Okay, we know how to receive, isn't that? And this isn't like this. This is what I realized now.
Yeah. And
something more.
Yeah. And then everywhere we have to think that we know how to receive in order to receive, will you destroy and uncreate it now?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And are you willing to literally just jump tracks with receiving? So everything you thought receiving was, will you destroy and uncreate it now?
Yes. Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Everything you didn't think that receiving was, that is, will you destroy and uncreate it now?
Yes.
Right or wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And just energetically, would you be willing to, like, with your awareness, perceive it's like literally the new spaces of possibilities that are present now and available now to receive from, like, instantaneously.
Mm.
Can you perceive that? For me, the way that it shows up, that it's been showing up, it's like, first of all, those spaces just, I don't know if they weren't there or not. Maybe there was just, it's like there were a lot of obstacles or barriers and walls that it was making it more of a struggle for me to choose it. And now it's like, it's just like here, it's present, and I can be like, okay, I am leaping into this, I'm receiving this, and I'm receiving this, and I'm receiving this, I'm receiving this. And it's like, I am just a magnet for receiving. How does it get any better than this? So would you be willing to jump tracks right now? Let's do some 13s together to jump tracks, and then just go. Just choose this brand new space of possibilities that's available right now to receive from, and to give to, and to have and be that infinite contribution that we truly be. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13. How does it get any better than this? And are you willing to receive infinitely from the earth and its magical beings?
Yes.
Yes. Does anyone have any other questions right now? Or comments or awareness?
Actually, it was funny because how can I say? I have having like so many insights all this like lately because I'm working on my beliefs and everything. And one thing when you were talking about and just came up to my mind was about money, but is like I realized that I have like it's hard for me when I have to charge someone, not just about money, for example, my clients, because in my mind, my idea is when someone owns you something, even money or something, I don't need to remember the person that she or he owns me something. And I realize that is a cycle. Sometimes people owe me, like even money, and I feel bad to remember them, like, you owe me something, you know what I mean? And it's hard for me. I feel like it's wrong. Yeah, and then you work on this belief or, yeah. And it came up something about judgment. It is funny, like I judge myself to feel bad. It's something like,
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So would you like to change that? Yes? Cool.
yes.
All right. So a couple of things are showing up. So the first thing that's showing up, and it might sound really crazy, just go into like your awareness. If it's light for you, it's true for you. If it's heavy for you, it's not true for you. You don't have to take what I say as like the word, okay? It's just your truth is what counts. So this is what's showing up when you were saying that. It's energetically another lifetime where your job was to go around and like remind people of the money or the gold or the whatever that they owed, like the kingdom. And in that process, you know, the ones that you would remind and they wouldn't pay, they got killed for it. So you were like kind of like taking that on as like, oh shit, I made them die because I went in and I went to collect the money that they owed the king or the kingdom. Okay, truth, is this light or heavy for you?
It's hard to answer because it's at the same time it's light, it's heavy. I don't know, but it makes sense for me.
Okay, okay. So yeah, it's like there's stuff in there. Okay, so that was then, and this is now. So everything that is times a gazillion, will you destroy it and create it now? Return to sender with consciousness. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds, and all the distractor implants that you have. I don't know if you read the book or you learn about them in any access class. Distractor implants are things like shame and blame and guilt, okay, that are basically distracting us from being the infinite being in all our potency, in all our power, the infinite creator that you truly be. So it gets in the way of you being that, of you choosing that, and of you creating as you can. So all the distractor implants that are in place, holding this tightly and heavily inside of you, will you destroy it and create it now? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And anywhere you still have, like in your body now, energetic imprints of this that are kind of like solidified in your body, will you return to sender with consciousness and destroy and create them now, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pop, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds.
It is funny because I feel like it's heavy on my chest, like something, yeah, pressure.
Yeah. So anywhere you're thinking or computing or figuring out that if you ask people for the money that they owe you now in this lifetime, the same thing is going to happen to them, will you destroy and create it and return to sender now?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. How is that? Is it same, lighter, or still heavy?
Light.
And the chest thing?
It's getting better. Like I have just like 15%. I know.
Okay. Is there something else there?
It's funny because I feel like something about a shame, like you mentioned before.
Excuse me.
A shame, like something about a shame of doing something, charge people, or yeah, a little bit.
And truth, who does that belong to? Is that yours?
No.
Would you like to destroy and would you like to return to sender with consciousness?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And then one of the things that we shared during a foundation class when I was talking about those energy flows is when someone owes you money, one of the flows that you do is like the pulling energy from them all the time. So like you expand yourself to be the infinite being you truly be, you lower down all your walls and barriers, and then you begin to pull energy from them. And so you pull and pull. So it becomes like very, like you're going to be in their awareness. And it's going to be like so uncomfortable for them that they're going to contact you and they're going to pay you the money that they owe you.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, how is everyone doing and being right now? Is this a contribution for you? Yes? Awesome. How about we close with just 2 minutes, a quick little like SOP magic of allowing ourselves to just expand beyond all boundaries, beyond all limits. Let's bring any walls and barriers down that we might have put up before. Let them go down, down, down. Allow yourself to expand even more. And just begin to notice the communion you have with all the molecules in your body. And notice how those molecules are in communion with the chairs you're sitting on right now. How your feet, if they're on the floor right now, they're in communion not only with the floor in your home or whatever you're sitting in right now, but with the earth underneath you. You don't have to be outside to be in communion with the earth. Notice how every breath you take is in communion with the molecules of the space around you. The space in your room, the space in your home, the space of nature, the space of trees, grass blades, birds, butterflies, beautiful, colorful flowers. Totally expansive and expanded and in communion with the sky and the sun. If you're somewhere else, with the moon and the stars. What would it take for us to be in communion with everything and everyone all the time? What would it take for us to be in communion with all the magic of all the molecules? What would it take for us to receive from all these juicy, joyful molecules right now and at all times with total ease? What would it take for us to move beyond the thinking, the trying, the figuring things out and be the space of possibilities, the space of infinite being, infinite knowing and infinite receiving with all and from all? What would it take for us to be the greatest contribution we truly be for everything and everyone with total ease? And anywhere you might be trying to slow down this energy, would you be willing to open up more and more and more and receive more and more and more? What energy, space, consciousness, and choice can we and our bodies be to be out of control, out of form, out of structure, out of control, out of significance, out of control, out of linearity, out of control, out of concentricity, and out of control and out of meaning right now and for all eternity with total ease. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pog, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. What would it take for us to receive it all? It's just a choice. The question is, would you be willing to choose it, my friends? Would you be willing to choose you and receive all of you? With no limits, with no judgments, with no barriers, with no walls, with no exceptions and with no exclusions. What would it take for us to be like consciousness and to be in total allowance of ourselves and all others with total ease? All of life comes to us with ease, joy, and glory. All of life comes to us with ease, joy, and glory. All of life comes to us with ease, joy, and glory. All of life comes to us with ease, joy, and glory. All of life comes to us with ease, joy, and glory. All of life comes to us with ease, joy, and glory. Would you be willing to receive all the ease, all the joy, and all the glory that's available for you now? And anything that doesn't allow us to show up as if by magic, will you destroy and uncreate it now? Right and wrong, good and bad, pun and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Thank you so much for playing with me today. Become aware once again of your body, of the space around you. And if you would like to play with us a little bit more, we have another free Zoom happening tomorrow, Tuesday, May 19th at 7 p.m. And it's all about closing the back doors and fully committing to you and your life. I believe the title is, How Much Is It Costing You to Leave the Back Doors of Your Life Open?
Wow, that's cool. I can attend, but I have an online event. I just have to go out at this sharp 10 o'clock Istanbul time. It means 8 o'clock your time. What was it? What was your time?
Our time is 7 p.m. Eastern time, so that's going to be like really late for you in Turkey. It's probably like 1 a.m. your time.
Oh, that's cool then.
Okay, cool.
It's after midnight.
Yeah, after midnight.
That's great.
Midnight.
If
Yes.
I'm not sleeping, okay, I'll be there tomorrow.
All right, awesome. I'm gonna add a little registration link if anyone would like to join, and if you would like to invite your friends to join too, you're welcome to do that also.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have an amazing
Bye-bye.
day. How does it get any better than this? Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. You're welcome.